Order in the court. Welcome, everyone. This is your brother, man, from the motherland, coming to you guys live from the NY with another installment of Samba Conversation. For those that don't know who I am him, Jones, the NBIC. Giving all praise and glory to the heavenlies, for they are worthy to be what? To be praised. Last but not least, let me give a shout out to all you guys for your continuous support, leaving all the feedbacks, the positive, the negative. All things is respected and needed because it allows me to do what I do best, and that is to continue keeping my foot on you heathens, you Hebrews, and the newly installed Heathenites. Next round of applause for that. Let me start off by issuing my apologies. I had this up and running, but my software, my stream software had it on unlisting. So I had to cancel the live and restart it. Luckily, I caught it on in the beginning. So my apologies. We're not gonna waste no time on today's Samba's conversation. I would like to introduce you to no other than my sister, Bayyinah Bello, and she is a professor, a doctor, and I want to play a very powerful lecture that I seen the other day, and it was only right that I put this up so we can have a conversation about this. Why? Because I'm trying to kill this stereotype that's coming along, that's been brewing about Haitians and voodoo and all of the things that you can imagine, the negative light that's shed upon individuals who were by far the only group of people who fought and won their independence. So I decided to allow the sister, a professor, phenomenal, and of course she's an Haitian, so I definitely gotta support that. But we're not gonna waste no time. I definitely want you guys to, what I'm saying, get some information, and very powerful, man, very powerful. So it's an old lecture too. What I'm saying, this is probably, I say, the early early 90s, early 90s, late 90s, probably year 2000, but neither here nor there. We're going to dive right in. Get yourself some coffee, get yourself some wine, and let's unwind and have this conversation. Let us go.
Allowing me to speak for you, what you want to know. In the names of the ancestors from whom we draw our inspiration, guidance, and strength, namely Isis, Oshun, Ogu, Ezuli, Nzinga, Toya, Nat Turner, Dessalines.
And I'll be popping up from time to time just to give you guys, some commentary. Also, YouTube, fair use. This is for educational purposes. This is to educate and inform brothers and sisters, mainly, my up and coming Haitians, you know what I'm saying? The ones that's being put on this earth need to know a little bit of your history. Because if you leave it to the enemy, they're gonna tell you that what you was born with is the enemy. Let us continue.
We greet you in Haitian traditional terms, honneur, respect. In the name of resisting people of Haiti and the world, we greet you in the battle cry of the many, liberty or death. We thank African Echoes for inviting us to speak this evening. And as we discovered, our theme is fulfilling Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King prophecy. We thank you for being here. Unlike what Brother Inuni, I understand what he feels, but I really don't care about those who are not here. The important thing is you who are here. So let me invite you to come a little closer. So what comes out of me may be more what you need to know, what you need to hear. I thank you for the honor of allowing me to speak for you, what you want to know from yourself. Because ultimately, that is all that matters. Doesn't make any difference how many people stand up and clap for you. It makes no difference how many television program or radio program that you go on, what kind of a big star or big whatever you are. Because what is important is, are you yourself? And are you doing what?
I want you guys to pay attention to the wordings that she's saying. The question is asked, are you yourself? I want you to meditate on that. And this is for every single black and brown person on the face of this earth. You must ask yourself, are you really yourself? That is the question. Remember that. Let us continue.
Your mission is. We want to know, how does a sister from Haiti going to talk about fulfilling Martin Luther King's dream? Which dream was this? Little white children and little black children, hands in hands? Do you think this may be the dream that I'm going to talk about this evening? No. That dream is not in me, and I don't know of anybody who has this dream.
Key word, people, that is not in us. Okay? That I have a dream speech was a dream only for him. Similar to everything else. People be having dreams and want us to subscribe to dreams that they had. That was his dream. That was his vision. That is not ours. We already know what our vision is. We already know what the mission is. And shout out to the sis for starting off the way that she needs to start off. That's that warrior spirit. That's that true Bantu. That's that true Bantu coming out of her. Let it continue.
And what is the dream? Well, it is a dream that is not often mentioned. But maybe it was just a mistake, but one day he said that he believed that one day a very small country, somewhere insignificant, would rise up and crush the United States of America. That is the dream I have in common with King. I come from a very small, insignificant country, trodden down, baffled by every so-called nation friend, sister nation, brother country, whatever it is they call themselves, baffled by so-called international community, baffled finally through education, through miseducation, through conditioning, baffled by ourselves, fooled and trampled by ourselves, because we have been trained to do this. But we must know, what is this country? We must know what is the purpose. A nation is what? A nation is a group of families that come together. They have past experience together, common past experience, and they establish a common objective. When
she's pointing out what we've been saying for the last, I don't know how many years now. Do you see what she says? What is a nation? It's a group of families. So when you hear things like the United Nations, and you look, and when you look and you realize that that United Nation table or seat has never provided a place for you, you was never given an invitation. That's just let you know you was never a part of their nation. So just let that marinate. Let it marinate. Let us continue.
You have past experience, which give you culture together, and you establish an objective to work towards, then you become a nation. And if we go back to the time where they were creating this country, Haiti, and please call it by its name, Haiti, not anything that you hear other people calling it. Thank you. This is a land that the founders sat down and decided would be the refuge for all black people throughout the world. It's not whatever little group is living on it. It's not the possession, the propriety of the little group that is there now. But their vision was, we're going to create this space here as a place where any black person running from any kind of oppressing havoc, oppressing chaos, they can come here. And instantly, any black person who set foot on this land becomes automatically free and a citizen. They went further. They said anyone freeing slavery who comes to Haiti will be free. But if you're black, you are free and a citizen. Now that is the mission of this country. So Haiti does not mean this small geographical space there.
Let me just chime in quick fast. Now you guys are getting a clear understanding into why they must impoverish that place, why they must cause friction, why they're bringing diseases, why they're bringing in their presidential elects, why they're baking bread with the other nations to literally dismantle, why we had an earthquake so powerful that it only affected the particular capital, but outside of Haiti, where the rich dwells, and I'm talking about the rich Europeans, the pale face, nothing happened to them. Yeah, yeah. Let the sister talk.
It means everywhere black people can create a space that is a refuge for other black, then that person is in Haiti. Haiti is, as far as I know, the only island in the Caribbean that has its original name. Even though the criminals coming from Europe, arriving on the island of Haiti, that's the name of the entire island. That's what the Arawak people called it. And this for thousands of years before the criminals arrived from Europe. And when they arrived, they find the people there. It is estimated there were between 2 and 3.5 million Arawaks on the island in 1492. 11 years later, it was estimated less than 100,000 people were living on this island.
Now, for those that know, that's been part of this podcast, you guys know I done gave you numerous of lessons and conversations and telling you what Christopher Columbus did when they came. She's just giving you an estimation of just Haiti, but in reality, it was 7.5 million people. 7.5 million people. And she said in 10 to 11 years, it was only 100,000. I'm telling you, from the 7.5 million people that was there, by the time these people was finished, we talking about hundreds, 200 years later, it was from 7.5 million to approximately only 250 people left, which means the mass majority, and I'm not speaking about Haiti because we know that Haiti is a free state, meaning they brought blacks all over, right? I'm talking about places like Puerto Rico, Venezuela, South America. I'm talking about those areas, Argentina. The majority of these people, the mass majority of these people are Christopher Columbus' children and his 1,000 men who came, seek, destroyed, all in the name of Jesus. Just throwing that out there, but let us continue.
A little before this estimate, as they noticed that the people were just dropping off like flies, the Europeans went to Jamaica, collected a portion of the population there, brought them to Haiti to dig for gold for them. And that population disappeared too. They went to Puerto Rico and brought boatloads of Arawak and Tainos and Caribs. And that population disappeared too in Haiti. And then, and only then, did the white man, we are told, the good father Las Casas.
The good father, the good father. A lot of you guys, I'm telling you, a lot of you guys, even in this truth, calling on the creator's name. That's the father. That is European. That is monotheism. Every time you say father, you're giving praise and glory to Lucifer. Every time you say father, you're giving praise and glory to the Orsinian family. Orsini. That's where father comes from. That's why you don't hear Abram calling God father, or Jacob, or Akubi, or Isaac, or David, or Solomon. People that's in prestige positions never called father. That is monotheism that comes from Europe. Wake up, people. You're disrespecting your ancestors and your creators every time you do that.
Being so kind, he felt now that they're practically all dead, we shouldn't kill them all off completely. Obviously, they're not strong enough for this labor we want them to do. We should go to Africa and get some big, strong black folks. Bring them here to do this job, to work for us for nothing. This was a very pure father, Las Casas. A very humanitarian man who owned big plantations in Cuba and in Puerto Rico. And in the name of Jesus.
Didn't I just say that? In the name of who? In the name of Jesus. Yahshua. Whatever name you want to associate it with. The Biblos is talking about that person. You don't have to change the name. I'm telling you. Do your homework. Do your research. Dig down. You're going to see that the name is associated, or should I say the story is associated with every single so-called savior that ever existed. The New Testament goes hand in hand. And just to throw the monkey wrench out there, the writers of the New Testament was not the titles or the characters of those verses and chapters. Just not. Matthews didn't write it. Yes, Luke didn't write it. John didn't write it. These are writings that came thousands of years later. Thousands, not even hundreds. Thousands of years later. Because they had a plan. And boy, has that plan worked. Boy, has that plan worked. But we'll dive into it. You see what the sister says. This is how you know this is the heavenly ones working. The rise of the Bantu won't be televised, but guess who's authorized to tell you guys? Mr. Gavel Banger. Yeah, let's continue.
He sent for boatloads of our brothers and sisters in Africa to travel the entire ocean, all these many miles, to come here and work so somebody else will get rich. Now, we are told this whole process is supposed to be a civilizing process. We are told the Arawaks were savages. We are told, in some cases they even say they were, what's the word they like to say when you eat people? No, cannibals. Cannibals. They were cannibals. But you know, these Arawaks were living there for thousands of years and multiplying. 3.5 million people eliminated in less than 11 years. A few Europeans came. The Europeans were never
3.5 million in 11 years. 3.5 million in 11 years. Damn. And for dudes that's saying that we are related, yeah. Let that marinate. Let us continue.
more than a few thousand on the island. If we had 3.5 million cannibals on an island, and a few thousand Europeans came, and after 11 years, the cannibals were all dead, and the civilizers were still there. Is there something wrong with this information? Something very wrong. Very, very wrong there. Yes, we have a dream. Yes, we have a firm conviction. For our study of history of our street has taught us. Nations always rise and become extremely so-called powerful. Once upon a time, England used to say, the sun never sets. Can they say this today? Once upon a time, France said a lot of things. Once upon a time, Rome said a lot of things. But every single time, some small, insignificant nation rises and places that monster in its place. And I am certain the same, we will see that same thing. We have seen Russia disintegrate, or USSR, but there was a lot of propping, so a lot of us didn't even understand what really went down. And since it was like family affairs, things were arranged in such a way that you and I can't really see couldn't really see what happened. And then you know how it goes in the family. Even if I fight with you, we battle, I crush you down, then I help you get up too when we go in front of other people.
Just an FYI, as you see, she used the term family again. Just an FYI. So when you hear the stories of Russia and Ukraine, just FYI. I'll just leave it as that. Let us continue.
So it's very difficult for people to really know what went down inside the room. But that's nothing. They think they did the big crushing for this period, but that's nothing. The best is yet to come.
Just add to that. She said the best is yet to come. Before she dives deep, understand that the greatness and the overpowering and the takedown is not gonna be through fasting and praying. It's not gonna be reading the Biblos every day. It's not gonna be keeping the commandments every day. That's not what is it going to take. It's gonna take hard work. You must put the work in like Noah put that work in. You must be loyal like Abram was loyal. You must be ready to fight and be willing to fight whoever, no matter who it is, just like Akobi was. And I'm using Bible verses to just show you that it was never sit still and pray. It was never sit still and endure and continuously receive beatings after beatings, being spiritually raped in order to find something great. That came with religion. And everything that we're doing is from the foundation of religion. Just an FYI. Let us continue.
We, as a people, have to work seriously. The first war has to be the war on self. You and me and him and she and her and him need to know the white man is living inside of you. He is in your mind. With every book you studied in school, he snuffed inside the tiniest little crawl, this little speck in your.
Also, he's in your mind through religion. Like I said, when you say the word father, that was him that told you that. It was them that put he, Lord, I, the I am. This is them. It was never the creators. See, the hiccup and the clue that the creators left behind, just like how they gave you Genesis chapter 13 and he went south. You see that little clue changed the mindset of everything. Also the little clue that they left behind was, let us create man in our image. O-U-R. And when they realized that, they had to do a correction. Male he made he, female he made she. You guys gotta wake up. You guys got to wake up. I know it seems hard-fetched because it's coming from a brother like me, but the word and the creators was going to use the individuals like me to wake you up. So you can see the difference between somebody that's with the creators and somebody that's with the inventors. Let that marinate. Let us continue.
Head. And I don't know, maybe he has even entered our soul. We need to investigate. But we have a mission. The first mission, before you and I can get together, you need to get together with yourself.
Yes, your soul has been taken. Yes, yes, it has been taken. Your mind has been plagiarized. Your viewpoint on how you see things has been overtaken by philosophies of the inventors, not the creators, the inventors. Whoever invented religion, whoever invented and put the Biblos together, those are the people who has reconstructed your mind. And the same thing the sister's saying is what I've been saying. It's time for us to start looking ourselves in the mirror. It's time for us to start putting and asking questions. Take your pride. I don't care how long you've been studying. I don't care how long you've been reading. I don't care what you tapping into. Remember where you getting this information from. Remember their objective. Remember their characteristics and what they are capable of. You can never forget that. And she is talking it so you guys can never forget that. Let us continue.
Armed, armed as you can get, with the best weapon, the highest, most up to the point technology weapon, and go out and get this white man out of your brain. And I have got to do the same thing before you and I can get together. We don't need to lament about those who are not here. Those who are not here are not ready to be here. Those who are not here could be troubled by what we have to say today. We don't know what it is, but whatever it is, we know that it is for those who are here. And the important thing is concentrate, you who are present. Concentrate on grasping the essence on what will be given to you so you can go out and have that first battle with which each one of us must have in order for us to come together. We must go out and face ourselves. Look in the mirror. Tell yourself the truth. Don't tell yourself no lies. Without the truth, we're not going anywhere. Yes, Haiti's mission is to create a land, a space where all black people who are in trouble anywhere in the world can come in and find refuge. So when you understand that, you also understand why any nation with this kind of mission in this white supremacy world that we're living in will be, must be, continuously under attack from every corner. That's normal. That's natural. And it is insane if you are an Haitian to make believe or to tell yourself that you're going to go to your country and build a nice home and enjoy the sea on Sunday and, have a little fun, relax. I'm sorry. You should find another place where you should go do this. You cannot come and do this here. Because this here place is the center of the biggest war happening in this world. Because it does not have any one enemy. It has white supremacy as an enemy. And they are not asleep. They know, even if they kiss up with you, even if they sleep with you, they have identified you as their enemy and they're going to go after you. If they're kissing up on you, it means that you are in a position where they don't feel they can attack you openly now. If they're feeding you, you should know there's a lot of possibility that this food is poison. If you're drinking from them, you should know that there are great possibilities that there is something in this drink for you. But more than this, if we take a little look at the Constitution of this country,
Now, before you go over your head and say, the foolishness, I want you to pay attention to what she said. She said they will put stuff in your food, they'll put stuff in your drink. Just know they're going to poison you. All the high fructose corn syrup in your Kool-Aid, your high fructose corn syrup in your sodas. You know, these are the things that they used to serve us every time you go into the movie theaters, every time you go to McDonald's, anything that they establish when they presented something to you. These are the things that they selling you. Don't let it get over your head. Don't go to the minute level saying that's not true. My husband and my wife would never do something like that. She's not referring to that. She's talking about the big. This is the greatest battle of our existence. Okay? The greatest battle. And it's only getting started. You see what's going on right now in the land. But let us continue.
First Constitution, the only valid Constitution, Constitution of 1805, states clearly this land is the land for all black folks. States clearly any black person landing here becomes automatically free and a citizen. States clearly no white man has the right to buy property here or work as master on this land. Clearly. And this law, now when you learn that Haiti is actually on its, I think we're at 30, Constitution 38 or 39, I don't know how many constitutions we have since the Constitution of 1805. If you understand, and of course in most books, you will not find a copy of the Constitution of 1805. They will begin with the Constitution of 1807. Even though they will have the Constitution of 1801, which is before Haiti's independence. But most people can never find a copy of 1805. But if you understand the mission of this country, then you also understand why this Constitution cannot be this readily available. Every Constitution, they remove the mission of the country little by little. And the very last thing to fall out was the article on white man cannot buy land or work as master on this land. And it was removed in 1915 during U.S. occupation. And the Marines encircled the Parliament at that time when they wanted to have this law removed from the books. They had already been manipulating several weeks already. Several new laws came in, removing this one, removing that one. But when they got to this law about white men, even this Parliament, which agreed with almost anything the U.S. asked. The U.S. asked to turn left, everybody turned left. Turn right, everybody turned right. But when they said we must remove this article, every parliamentary person said, not me. I don't want to be involved with this. I'm not here. So the U.S. Marines encircled the Parliament House, arrested all the Parliament folks, wrote the new decree to remove this law from the books, and passed it. Democratically, thank you. Okay.
And you heathens and you Hebrews and you heathen like still gonna go vote Democrat, right? Do you see the wickedness? Mind you, these are also the people that's telling you what we have spiritually is evil. Let's listen. We just getting started. Just listen.
Right? So, why? People will tell you many things through their books on tops of books. You will read as to why the economic reasons why they had to occupy Haiti. Oh, no. The trouble, so much coup d'etats and too many killings of officials and too much trouble in the country. That's why the U.S. had to occupy Haiti. But here's what the U.S. did. When they came in the first time, they occupied Haiti. First, they changed all the worthwhile laws from the book. I'm sorry, that wasn't first. The very first thing was, Haiti was the only country at that time who did not have their money back in the Americas. backed by the dollar. Our money was backed by gold. Our entire reserve, gold reserve, was taken away for safekeeping, we were told, and brought to Fort Knox. It has yet to return home. This was 1915. When somebody asks you why is there so much poverty, when some white person says, "Oh, I want to go help the poor people in Haiti, so I'm going to bring a little bread and a little water for them," ask them, why don't you just ask your government to give them back their gold? Right. Yes. So, we're looking at a country that has set a model for black countries. The only country who had a constitution which was in accord with what the purpose of the people. We cannot have black people enslaved or colonized, and then when we're free we say, "Oh, colonizers are our best friends. They teach us the laws we should have in the books. We're going to take their books to have the schools. We're going to take their doctors to come and build our hospitals." Why the hell then why don't you just stay in slavery or stay in colonization?
And everything that she's saying, I want you to know that they also, do these things, especially through religion. See, your freedom will never come until you separate yourself from their spiritual hold. And what they're using to hold us hostage and remain in bondage is the Biblos. When you go down this rabbit hole, people, oh my geez, when you go down this hole, you're going to be so upset, disappointed. It might just turn you into an atheist, and that's exactly what they want. See, an atheist would never want to tap in to the spiritual side, never want to tap into that soul. They don't want to enter that realm. They want to stay into the minute, low vibration, do whatever it is what it is mentality. That's exactly what they want. So when you are disconnected from the creators, when someone is talking to you in your brain and is saying something like, "Bantu princess, get your ass up out of here right now," you're gonna take it as, "Oh man, they just talking about none of these things, man. Something was in my head. I'm gonna smoke a blunt, drink some liquor, and then I'm gonna eat a Snicker, and then that's just gonna be it." This is what they want. This is what they want. Look, read that Albert Pike book, man. Read it. This is the Third World War that you're witnessing right now. This is it. And this is why individuals like myself must come out and tell you what's going on and let you know that even though you're disconnecting from religion, tap in and find your heritage. You gotta go back memory lane. You have to go back memory lane. Everything that these people has been telling us, I promise you people, it has been a lie. Let us continue.
We have an example, Nigeria. Very important country. 110 million people strong. Powerful land, variety in climate. Nigeria has everything to win as a black country. When Nigeria was becoming, and the crackers really didn't want to give Nigeria up. They did not. Because Nigeria was too much wealth, too much of everything. And it had it and a very dynamic personality, the people of Nigeria. Well, when you read the Constitution of Nigeria, you can hardly tell this is a black nation. But furthermore, the accompanying agreement, Nigerians agreed to live in the hands of England. The educational system, the justice system, the finance system, and the resources. So here we are independent. Here's how it went in Nigeria. We're independent. Hooray! Independent. Wonderful. But England will determine what you do as far as education is concerned, will determine how money is spent and for what, will determine how resources are used, and will determine justice for the next 15 to 20 years. Is that independence? All right. So, Haiti, if you're looking for one country, one black country, coming out of slavery or colonization, that actually had what you call independence, you will not find two examples. Not even Ghana. Ghana is the closest. Ghana has pretty good documents in what they set up. Guinea tried, paid very dearly for trying. Okay? So, tell me, here we are. I'm a slave master. You're my slave. I spent 100 years beating up on you, your grandmama, your great-grandmama, making you work for nothing for me. Centuries after centuries. And then one day independence must come. I said, okay, fine, let's have independence. Sit down and talk about it. Here's how your independence gonna go, okay? Let me tell you. And now, independence is signed. We all happy. We shake hands. How sweet. All the land that I took from your family remains my land, of course. And now you out in the street begging. You know what I'm gonna say? Look at this bum. What is wrong with him? These black folks can't do nothing for themselves. Here he is begging, begging, always begging. And we are so stupid. We won't even say, yeah, I'm begging because you stole my land. I'm begging because you killed my mother. I'm begging because you slaughtered my grandmother. I'm begging because you raped my sisters. That's why I'm begging.
Do you see the fire in her eyes? Do you see the fire in her eyes? This is why I resonated with this lecture right here. This is the warrior. This is the spirit or the soul of our creators. This is what we are. This is the eyes of anger. This is the eyes of wanting to destroy. This is the eyes of somebody that didn't subscribe to their Luciferian education, aka religion. This is the eyes of that. Religion got you brothers and sisters brainwashed. Ho, 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 ho. They're not in the spirit. Pray. Don't pray on nobody. The only person that needs prayer is you. And if you had the opportunity to pray, why pray for somebody you don't know when you got family members that's suffering and your prayers should be done for them? But my bad, prayers don't get answered. In fact, prayers don't even get heard because no way in God's green earth that prayer was ever associated with our ways and customs, because we don't pray, we give praise. It's two different. Get your P's right. You understand me? Let us continue.
We're going to say, no, white man, you gotta help us. Yeah, we're really in bad shape. You know why you can't give him the census? You went to school, I hear. Your mama swept by the roadside, selling mangoes to send you to school. to send you to the best school. Like my mother. My mother was living in a room, one room, saving every penny she made to send me to a school called Collège International in Montpellier.
My mom's went there too. Facts.
After I finished secondary school, I had no idea. Hey, my mama said she's sending me to school. I went to school. But when I got to the school, you know what they taught in that school? They teach you how to drink whiskey, how to drink vodka, how to ride horses, how to play card games. And see, this is a school, because she didn't know. To her, it was a great school because it was in France, and in France, everything you learn is good for you. This is a school that children of barons and queens and whatever, who don't have any brains, who don't have anything to do, all they have to do is go and learn how to walk fancy, speak fancy, and drink up a storm without ever looking drunk. It's sad, but it's true. I spent a year, and there was no way I could explain to my mother, this year, you sent me, I don't belong here. Anyway, to make a long story short, I went, did my year. At the end of the year, I have a diploma. Hey, I know how to drink vodka real good. And I had to dress up. I was forced to press my hair. I think it was 3 times a week I was supposed to press my hair, because I was never supposed to have a kink anywhere. I must not be myself, you know. My hair was always to be pulled in a silky, slinky little whatever it was. Okay, I did it all until the last day. When the notes were all posted, I washed my hair with a lot of pleasure. And I blow it all out, something like tonight. Probably it was much bigger, because it was longer then. And I put an African outfit. Without lying, one of my teachers went to the hospital with an infarct. And the man kept saying on the hospital bed, it is impossible. She was my best teacher. I invested so much in her. She can't revert like this. They worked hard to turn me into a white woman. It just didn't take. I was bad earth. Bad soil. But I'm only telling you this because many of you are going to school. If you're not, you have a child that you're sending to school. You have a niece, you have a cousin that's going to school. A book written by a colonizer, a racist pig. Do you think that this can help your child grow? Am I saying you should not go to school? No. What is the difference between medicine and poison? What's the difference between the poison and the medicine? A matter of degree. Thank you, brother. It's the same thing. There is no difference. Every medicine is poison. It will kill you if that's what the doctor tells you. Take 1 teaspoon every 5 hours or every 8 hours. If you decide, hey, this pain is too much, let me take 5 teaspoons, what will happen to you? Alright? Yes. Every medicine is poison. When you go to school, you have to think in terms, this is the poison you've got to have. But you have to measure how much of it, when you should take it, and sometimes maybe you just may have to say, hey, forget it. But that's a fact you need to know. Every time you sit in front of the television, somebody's working on you. Someone is working to change you from a black person who knows who they are and want to be themselves to something wants to be anything other than what it is. When you take the New York Times to read, you think you're getting information? You are reading approved truth. Truth approved for general consumption. That's what you're getting. Has nothing to do with truth. Has nothing to do with reality. We have right now the island of Montserrat, which is 1/3 covered by the ashes of a volcano. Is there a big boo-hoo in all the television programs, all the television stations, right? Yeah. It's a bunch of black folks. Who cares? And funny thing is, this week we have Italy. A little earthquake shook and killed 4 people. There isn't one station who didn't give it. Not one. In Haiti, people are dying every day. All kinds of reasons. All kinds of situations. But that's not the problem. When the big, gory, bloody stuff arrives, that's when it's interesting. In seconds, we have thousands of journalists from all over the world in the country. When it's big and bright, you know. But never they will touch the reality of what's happening. They'll give you their version, their interpretation. And they'll give it to you in a way, in degrees, that will make you feel these Haitians a bunch of fools.
Make you feel in a way that these Haitians are a bunch of fools. That voodoo is evil, is wicked. Mind you, it's coming from these people. These people are giving you a lecture on something the creators gave you. Because if the creator gave it to everybody else, trust me, these people will be using it every single day. But the fact that they can't get it, the fact that they study people, they interview people, and they just try to grasp and learn it, they just can't get it. They say, listen, this is too powerful. And the beauty about it is you don't have to be like a top of the line individual and go to classes and schools. No. These things is rooted in you, Bantus. It is in your DNA. It is in your DNA. But the reason why we're not tapping into it or studying it or trying to understand it is because you got blindfolds in your way. You got people that stand in your way and give you a falsified story. Or give you an example of individuals who was using such holy power for evil so they can make you look at it like it's evil. Don't ever think the enemy will ever tell you your strength, knowing that your strength could take them down. Just wanted to throw that out there.
These people always have a problem. And that's the same way they give us information about you. That's true. Most Haitians don't like black Americans. That's a fact. I'm not going to lie about it. We don't like you because the only information we have about you is what your enemy and ours tell us about you. And you don't need Haitians either. Because you have the same information from the same source about us.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything that I've been saying. Yeah. And for those that feels that I'm, I'm crossing over to the other side. I'm absolutely am, because I'm crossing over to the side of the creators. I'm crossing over to the side of pure righteousness. I'm not crossing over with, oh yeah, yeah, the name is Sunini Nanini, but yeah, I still wanna associate the creators with European philosophy. I still want to associate the creator with pagan rituals. We here talking about getting baptized. We're here over here talking about a man died for the sins of. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing, knowing that the word tells you that there's not a human being on the face of this earth that can die to take away sins. To not only take away sins, but to fast forward to 2024, that the same exact people, the continuous lineage of these people are still acting, committing, and upholding it with full honor of sin. So when I tell you that in order for you to wake up and see what you need to see, you see, my awakening for me, and when things started really being unveiled to me, is when I realized that Sunini, Nanini was masculine and feminine, male, female. The our image was through that. And when I started seeing that, and I stopped saying Father Sunini, Nanini. I stopped saying that. And I started saying things like the heavenly ones, giving respect to both authorities. I am the child. I am the creation, not the creator. I don't dictate and say who I call on and what does it mean. Because when you got these enemies in your mind, you're gonna be exactly where you at right now. Hence why in 2024 there's still no unification. There's still no true awakening. True awakening is not coming on YouTube and bringing forth precept after precepts. That's not true awakening. That's the minute level. The true awakening is realizing the Holy Land is Africa, knowing you are from Africa, and showing yourself approved by tapping in and going to Africa. I can't take information from people that never been there or been there for a short period of time. The people that I'm talking to, either they live there or they've been traveling numerous times. Like Brother Ben, may the creators have mercy on that soul. And the creators will have mercy on that soul, because hell was never for a bond to. Oh yeah, listen, I'm gonna break all of these things down. We just having conversations now. I'm gonna break it down. But let us continue. My bad.
When was the last time the New York Times told you anything about Toussaint Louverture? When did the New York Times talk about Jean-Jacques Dessalines? When did you ever hear about what is the mission of this country? They even have clap to be occupied in 1994. Yes, I stood up against the coup in Haiti. Yes, I stood up for the return of the will of the people in Haiti. Because at the time, yes, Aristide won by 70% of the vote. He is the choice of the people, so he should go back. But when I'm told, okay, he's going back with military occupation, I said, no, that's too expensive. This price, not for me. Most of my comrades were against me. But that's not their fault. Lack of vision, lack of knowledge of our street, lack of understanding. What does military occupation mean in any country? I don't care where. That is not the problem. Military occupation means prostitution will rise up out of the street into the best families. Number one, because General so-and-so and Colonel so-and-so from the U.S. Army is not going to go in the street and pay $2. No. And he's got to have a prostitute. He's going to go in your home, my home, take my sister. Number two, the cost of living must rise at least 15%. That's a fact, whether you want it or not. Any place where there has been occupation, those are the two first results of any occupation. So, before, 5 goods for $1. Today, 17, 18, 19, 50 goods for $1. You know how many people cannot in this country? 7% of the population is not working. The World Bank says, oh, to make things better, we have a good plan for you. It's going to get real good, real fast. First, the public workers must be reduced by half. A study proved that every working Haitian feeds at least 7 people. And we only 30% of the population, the working population, is working. Now when you're going to reduce it to 15% of the population, how many people are we each going to feed? And then what happens to the ones who don't have somebody working to feed them? In 1946, Haiti imported nothing of what it needed to survive on a day-to-day basis. In 1960, Haiti did not import its food. Since 1970, there is progress, I think they call it. We start importing things. And today, 1997, Haiti imports even lemon, even plantain, even corn. And don't forget, we are buying it with 20 goods for $1. But remember, Haiti is nothing but an example. It's nothing. Whatever we say about Haiti, we could say it about Zaire, we could say it about Nigeria, we could say it about Togo, we could say it about Ghana, we could say it about Guinea, we could say it all over wherever our people are. And that's why we must make it our business. If we say we're serious about growing, if we say we're serious about going to war, you have to know what's happening in every part of your world. Don't sit here. I'm a black American. I'm living in Newark, New Jersey. Well, New York, I have no problem in Newark, New Jersey. We're okay. We have a nice mayor. No, we've got to become involved. Because whatever they're doing to us in Haiti, whatever they did in Zaire, in Lomé, in Ghana, it's coming to you, brother.
Oh, it's here. Oh, it's here. Oh, it's here. They call it inflation. Oh, it's here. They got us right where they needed us. Be all soft, buttercup looking, Lambo driving, LeBron James clothes wearing. You understand? Religious organization claiming, associating the creators with Roman theology. They got us. Oh, they got us. They got us, and it's only about to get worse. I'll talk about it later. Let us continue.
It's coming your way if it's not already there. Whatever they do to you, they're coming with us, to us with it. Whatever they do to us, they're coming to you with it. In 1960, Haitians did not know what drug was. 1970, if you say marijuana to somebody in Haiti, what you talking about? Cocaine? Today we have a large drug population since the occupation. Yes. Another wonderful thing that the United States of America does, taking out its jail populations, we're told. So for the past 3 years, every American airline that lands in Port-au-Prince has 4 or 5 handcuffed men in the back. These are supposedly Haitians. Nobody checked their papers. Nobody really knows. But what is certain, they are hardcore criminals. The U.S. has a program. If you've been in jail 10 years, or you've gone to jail so many times, the next time they arrest you for hardcore crime, instead of giving you life imprisonment, they can take you back to your country, supposedly. And this without saying anything to the government. You get to
That's called deportation for those that don't know. Yeah.
the airport, they take off the handcuffs, and you in the streets. The American Airlines land every day in Haiti at least 3 times a day. And every day it brings a load. And then they say, oh, there is insecurity in the country. We wonder how come. Until 1985, I lived home in a house where I did not have the key to the front door. Even when I went on vacation, I didn't lock the door. I just pulled it. Today, I wouldn't dare. But to solve all of this, first element, we must know what's happening. Because if you don't know, you cannot resolve a problem that you have not identified. Number 2, you must get yourself together. Don't look at Zaid and say, well, here's what's wrong with Zaid. Forget it. Bayyinah has to look at Bayyinah. Look at what's wrong with Bayyinah and decide how to cure and clean Bayyinah. Zaid has to take a good look at Zaid, clean up Zaid, and cure Zaid. And when Bayyinah is clean, Zaid is clean, Bayyinah and Zaid can have a program together. All humans, Africans maybe more than others, know that we do not live by flesh alone. Yeah, I hear there are people who say they are atheists. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in spirits. Atheists. Thank you. They don't believe in spirits. They don't believe in any force other than man. Possible. But what I know is all Africans, all.
Listen carefully to what she's about to tell you. You see, she said all Africans, from El Cabulan. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Please listen. She's about to put the nail in the coffin. Listen.
From every corner of the continent, all of the people with high melanin content, they all believe in what we don't see, in non-matter existence. So, I cannot speak and not come to the spirituality of things.
spirituality of things. I like that. Definitely got to put that in the arsenal. Please let us continue.
In Haiti, a discipline was established. A set of belief, a belief system was established. Created from Ifa, from the motherland, our expression of the divine, of the unseen, is called Voodoo.
Uh-oh. She's about to tap in. She's about to tap into voodoo. Who these people turn into voodoo. Right? This is for you, sis. This is for you. Get the Europeans out your mind. Get the foolish European ideologies out your mind and tap into who you are. You are a melanated person. And your mind has been converted into the mind of a coconut, where you're black in the outside, right? But the mentality and the foundation is of a European. And your justification to embrace the European is the glorification of an ideology or a religion that was given to you by the Europeans. How does that make sense? How are you talking about black empowerment, a liberation for the Bantu, separation, take back, claim back? But your ideologies and your thought process is of a European. And when I say this, and I ask this question numerous of times, who told you that voodoo was bad? Here's a sister who's born and raised in Haiti. And she's saying everything that I've been saying. And she experienced it. And I experienced it, witnessing it with my own two eyes. Growing up, my grandmother, my mother. So you telling me my parents, my family members is practicing something evil? Who told you it was evil? Because look at the history that she just broke down. Some of you guys didn't even know that. You didn't even know we had a constitution that was to liberate all colored people, and that a European couldn't even get a piece of chicken out of that land. But these same people that arrested those people, killed those people, are now the ones writing laws and also writing literatures and books and documentations and putting it all through the internet, making all these stupid videos, hiring, paying black people to push this, to push this narrative, to prevent you, a Bantu, a black, African, El Cabulan person, from ever tapping into something that is organically inside of you. Yeah. Let us continue.
Voodoo is how we view the universe, how we view the interaction between matter and non-matter.
Yeah. Yeah. Let her talk that talk.
Nothing is free from non-matter, from spirit. In Voodoo, each person has their spirit. As a group, we have a spirit, all of us together. As a nation, we have a spirit. The tree has a spirit. The cat has a spirit. And Voodoo teaches that if I really want to understand what's going on around me, what's going on in the world where I'm at, I must understand the spirit of things. I cannot just know matter of things.
And they want you to know the spirit of things. They want you to connect to the spiritual side or your soul side. They want you to tap in, but it has to be under the guidelines of their ideology. And what best thing to use other than the biblos to get their point across? I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you guys something later on after this. Bound to Princess, remind me when this lecture is done to provide you guys with some information that's gonna bust your head, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what's going on because a lot of you guys are still sleeping. I'm gonna wake you up. Don't worry.
And Voodoo gave us a multitude of principles for understanding. As I told you, everything has a. If the black man, there's a spirit of the black man. There's the spirit of the African man. There's the spirit of the white man. Whether he knows it or not, he's got one. Now, when the black woman was raped by the first white man, and they brought into this world somebody called a mulatto, do you think this person has another spirit? Of course. With every new matter that comes to be, a new spirit comes to be.
Hence why intermingling was wrong. Hence to why the first thing that they did when they took over your land and removed you, the first thing that they did was infuse themselves into you. Hence into why you're seeing what you're seeing now in 2024 with a high influx of interracial marriages, interracial movies, right? You seeing the videos where you seeing the black girl and the white boy, or the white boy with the black girl. You're witnessing these things. You see, these people know what they're doing. You don't know what you're doing because something is preventing you from tapping in to that side that you was organically born with. And she's telling you this. We all have this in us. It's already in us. So Nini Nanini would not create something this powerful and allow us to tap into it if it was so-called evil. Wouldn't we all be destroyed? Let's go according to the word. Don't the word says you must kill all the witches and the warlocks? Think about that, people. Think about this before you make drastic decisions or you want to have an argument or you feel some type of when you feel the type of way, especially when I'm saying these things, and when you feel some type of way, you're not having an issue with me. You're not disrespecting me. You're disrespecting the creators who put that power inside of us. We was born with that. Let us continue.
The television is a machine. The camera is a machine. The camera has a spirit. And the best cameraman is the one who understands the mechanical workings of this machine and the spirit of this machine. So if we really want to get to work, we not only need to know ourselves, the truth about ourselves in the flesh, we need to know the truth about our own spirit. So we can tell, in fact, if you don't get into your spirit, how will you be able to kill this white man that's hiding in front of you?
Oh. And we know that. We seen what we seen the power that these black people got. So let's give them religion. Let's give them a book and says, yes, praise the Lord. But then as time go by, let's plant seeds and have black missionaries go into various locations and set up shop and have these people telling people of color that there was no such thing as multiple gods, that it was only one God, the Father. All Abrahamic religion keep the same concept, all by design, from the east to the west to the north to the south. Yeah, I mean, you should be upset by now, where you as a black person should never, and I repeat, you should never in your life discredit anything that we've created. If it comes from black, we want all of that. And if they tell you that is whack or is evil, you must ask yourself, why is that? This is what I'm trying to have brothers and sisters to understand. You can't give me a studies and research that's discrediting what black people have done, whether it's through Egyptology, whether it's through voodoo, whether it's through what's the practice that they do in Nigeria. So much pure, beautiful, untampered with African culture that does not go hand in hand with this Abrahamic religion / lie that was forced upon the Bantus, that we are upholding to this very day. But now the difference is we disrespecting the creators by associating the creators with the filth. What does the creators have to do with the discuss? Like I told you guys before, the Biblos is 80% lies, 20% truth. That's why you only could get just a handful of truth. Everything else is just a myth. It's a mystical myth that you have the option to believe and accept it or disbelieve and reject it. That's exactly what these people want, because it puts you in a space of confusion. We're getting rid of this confusion. We getting rid of this confusion. You see what I'm doing now? You see what I'm bringing forth now? We're putting an end to the confusion. We're putting an end to the division. I'm no longer trying to listen to anything. If it's not the empowerment of the Bantus of black and brown, whether you in America, Haiti, Jamaica, wherever you dwell, if it's not about the empowerment of our people, and you teach me anything or you tell me anything in disregard of the power of our people, you're promoting the enemy, and I can't support that. This is a fact. We are here for the people. Our people, especially those in El Capulan, they need truth, man. They're being taken advantage of. I just gave you guys a documentary last week, and some of you guys could not handle it. The reason why I'm playing it, because I need you to understand the full-fledged attack. This is why last week's documentary goes hand in hand with this lecture right here, because you have forgotten where we are at, and you allowing the enemy to dictate your mind and program you how they want you to be. How you acting, that person, that's not you. That is not of the creators. That is not the soul or the image that was placed on this earth from the beginning. What we're seeing here is contaminated, combobulated, decapitated black and brown people running around proclaiming to stand on truth with no proof, proclaiming to stand on righteousness but sound very religious. The confusion is very suspicious. But when the real ones come outside and talk that talk, they say I'm cross switching. They say I'm switching sides. They say that he's being, no, there's nothing happening to me. The only thing that's happening is the creators is waking up the warriors, the real ones. These are the ones that's being awoken right now. We are waking up, and they can't stop it. So now what they're doing is they're putting the mpox in your land. A nation, a worldwide emergency. Hold on. Hold. They won't accept Jesus, kill him. They won't accept the Quran, kill them. They won't accept the big blows, kill them. And those that was situated, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Without killing yourself. He and you mingled in like this. If you're gonna go get him, there's a large chance that you will kill yourself when you shoot at him. Unless you know your spirit. And our people in Haiti have devised a system that allows us to understand the spirit of humans. And this understanding of spirits of humans, if we all knew it and applied it, it will make interaction between us so much easier. My brother Zaid over there, from having observed him a number of years, I know he's a Ogu. There's no doubt about it. My brother Inuni over here is a Legba. Now, if there is a position or there is something going on in this group, we all in a group, if Zaid knows who he is and Inuni knows who he is, they will never contest the same position. By knowing what their vital force, life force is, they know that certain things, they don't need to be there. They know that there is a time for them. They just have to let everybody be who they are and accomplish their mission. I'm going to try to make it a little clearer for you. Everybody here is familiar with Toussaint Louverture? Okay. Toussaint Louverture is a black man who largely contributed to the independence of Haiti. But he did not see independence. Freed himself as a slave. He was a slave for a time. And he was named by the white man François Dominique Breda. François means a thing belonging or having quality of French. Okay, a French thing, French possession, French quality. Dominique means somebody born on a Sunday. Breda is the name of the plantation where he was born. Every slave on that plantation signed Breda. So his name, François Dominique Breda.
Just some little history. Just a little history. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that. Let us continue.
This man started to implicate himself in the struggle for revolution. He got rid of the François. The Dominique fell off almost by itself. And people started calling him, as his godfather used to call him secretly, Toussaint. He was called Toussaint because his godfather, who's a man who came to Haiti as an adult, an African, and as an African, Africans like to name people according to the day you were born. And he's born on November 1st, which is the day of All Saints. So Toussaint means All Saints. Okay? So his godfather secretly always called him that. Later, when he started to affirm himself as a revolutionary, he said to people, hey, don't call me this François business. Hey, call me like my godfather calls me, Toussaint. Fine. As he became military implicated, and people start noticing that whenever they are trapped somewhere, and Toussaint is there, he always finds a way to open the way and get out of the trap. So then people start calling him l'ouverture, which means the opener, the one who opens the way. So Toussaint l'ouverture. This man paved the road to independence. But before independence, he was captured by the French, taken to France, locked up in a jail, opened up a hole in the ceiling for snow to come in and eat him away. He died of gangrene.
I bet you guys ain't know that neither. See, the real liberators, these people will never, and I repeat, these people will never be acknowledged. Never. The true fighters will never be acknowledged. They will always be put in a back burner. You will always get the story of Martin Luther King, not Malcolm X. You will always get the story of Jesus and not Sunini. You will always get that. Because the real fighters, the real ones, anybody that goes against the system can't be spoken of, because just like she said, that spirit, that soul can get inside of you, and you can build up a strength to continue that fight. But I'm a, and to Tonya 23, send me your information. I'll promote it. We'll support it. Let me see what you got, and we're gonna continue. Let us continue.
After Toussaint, Jean-Jacques Dessalines took
And that Jean-Jacques, that's my pop's name. That's my uncle's name. So this fighter, that joint been in my DNA. I'm just saying, just to throw that out there.
the lead of the movement. And Dessalines took things all the way to the Declaration of Independence, January 1st, 1804. When you study these two people, when you study them spiritually, Toussaint, not only by his name, both his names, is a Legba. What is a Legba? Legba is the spirit, the opening, the initiator of all things. He opens the way for people. He allows somebody to get to where they ought to be.
Could that don't that sound like Akobi? The open the womb, led the way. Oh, yeah. Remember the story that they gave us, that's in the Biblos. That story was rewritten for them. I repeat, was rewritten for them. Nobody in the land of Al Kebulan knew nothing about ISIS, Rael, Israel, until the blacks from here in the West came over there with that mess. And if something like that was in our DNA and in our culture, we would have been practicing it to this very day. You go ahead and believe the story of we have been discontinued. That is not true. There's people that's in Africa that's been doing these things for thousands of years. See, they gotta divide the people and got you in a state of confusion and delusion. And you're going to tell me that we lost ourselves. The most hard-headed people on the face of this earth lost themselves through slavery against man, when we didn't even want to let go. And I'm going according to the scriptures. We didn't even want to let go of what we was taught in Egypt when we seen God do his miracles. And you telling me we lost our way? You go ahead and continue believing that. Let us continue.
If you take the Bible, Moses is a
Uh-oh. Isn't Moses a Levi? Oh yeah. Let us continue.
Legba. He opens the way for people to get somewhere, but Legba never gets there. Legba must not be attacked. Legba is the door. He creates the opening for you. You go in. He stays there to create another opening for somebody else. He doesn't go. Toussaint did not see independence. Toussaint was followed, as I said, by Jean-Jacques Dessalines, who is an Ogun. Ogun is the spirit of the one who eliminates obstacles. after an objective is set. Be careful. An ogu is a very wicked thing if there is no objective. You have to have your objective set, and then the role of ogu is clear, and ogu will give you a fine job. It will get you to the objective. So, depending on what circumstances we're in and what our objective is, Zaid and Inuni cannot work the same position. Two very different nature, two very different spirits. But when Zaid don't know who he is, and Inuni does not know who he is, what happens? It's for them to fight for the same position. Because they do not know who they are. They are not in touch with their true self. The vital force that makes them be. And that's why it's important for us to get into the spirituality our own. Voodoo is not, you see, in Africa, I hate to talk about religion. Be careful. Religion is a business.
Did she just say that? Did she just say that? Oh yeah. Don't that sound like what I be saying? Oh yeah. Just let us continue.
In which they sell God.
Damn. Religion is a business which they sell God. Bantu Princess, I need you to write that down for me. Religion is a business in which they sell God. Religion is a business in which they sell God. Damn. All praises be to the creators.
And this business works very well for whoever sets up the shop. Okay? Now, when we're talking about voodoo, we're not talking about a religion. We're talking about understanding your profound nature.
It's in your DNA. So to my sister, it's in your DNA. Don't allow this European philosophy. Don't allow these European teachers. Don't allow this European writings that's discrediting something that is naturally born in you. Time for you to tap into that, sis. Release the religion, people. Release the religion. Release it in the name of the creators. Release it in the name of the creators. Denounce it. Say, we don't want that. We don't want your ideologies. We don't want your philosophies. We don't even want your book. Thank you. The book, it did enough justice for us. Thank you. We know where the Holy Land is. We know the creators' names. Thank you. We don't need no more. Take it with you. Take it. Take it. Take it and run, far away with it. We don't want it no more. Thank you. Thank you. And eventually, I'm seeing it now. You're seeing these organizations, the business, going out of business. Religion is a business that's going out of business. And every single one of you brothers and sisters, heathens, Hebrews, and heathenites, is on borrowed time. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
So you can be and live as who you are. Nobody can come and tell you, well, hey, you want something? I'm gonna see that. Well, give me $5,000. Now I'm gonna call God up there and tell him. No. And this is something that sometimes I found so sad, that we have a lot of people who claim to be Hungan and practicing voodoo, and they're doing the same business as the Catholics, and they're trying to turn it into a religion. In fact,
not to cut off her wisdom, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. Something that we was naturally born with, and they're associating it with religion, which then makes it evil, because the creators don't have no affiliation with religion. That's why you can never associate Sunini, Nanini with anything, with any connection with any source of religion, terminologies, philosophies, none of that. When you do that, you're disrespecting the heavenly ones. When you do that, you're disrespecting the heavenly ones. And when I say these things, this is crazy. When I say these things, you would think brothers and sisters would take heed or take it upon themselves to look into it. No, no. They will say that I'm unlearned, or you're not in the right spirit, or you don't know what you're talking about. You hear everything. It's like I said before, when you have the mindset of a religion, your foundation is always gonna revert back to it, even if you know. Because the creators, see what the creators do. The creators talk to your soul. Certain things that you may say and you may do, your soul will tell you that it is wrong. But the pride and the opportunity to present yourself as a higher source. Nobody's higher than the creators. And nobody is higher than each other. When you're wrong and somebody tell you you're wrong, it's because you're wrong. It's not about hate. It's not about disagreements. It's because you're wrong. The creators put it in this person's mouth to regurgitate this information to you. Just like how the creators put it in Moses' mouth to regurgitate that to the Pharaoh, right? We're going according to the word, right? So when you find out why voodoo is in these circumstances, it's because voodoo is taking the pill or taking a piece of the enemy's creation, the enemy's invention. Let us continue.
Something horrible is happening at home right now. A lot of Hungans today are starting to dress in the robes, the big white robe or black robe the priests used to wear, that they're not wearing anymore. Now the Hungans at home are wearing them with a big cross on their stomach. They're giving up the asson thing they used to shake. They're now taking the cloche, the bell. Ding, 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 ding. If you go certain ceremonies today, you go to them and you think you're in church. Anyway, today a lot of them start with "Our Father who art in heaven."
Our Father who art in heaven. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is sad. That is out of nature, out of themselves.
Out of yourself, out of nature. It's not in our DNA. You're forcing this to be a part of your DNA because through 400 years of religion, it's hard to let go because you are afraid of that spiritual collision. You don't want to be let free from the religious prison. You want to be a part of it. You just want to associate what you believe. You want to associate the creators' names. You want to associate the creators with the invention. And you wondering why you still in detention. Let us continue.
Spirituality, nobody can teach it to you. You need to get the fundamentals of any book, any spiritual system. You can get the fundamentals and then look at inside of you and then determine how you are going to use the fundamental principles to improve your life. Nobody can tell you, you must pray every Friday, you must do this every Saturday, you must do that every Sunday. No, because what is good for you is not necessarily what I need. You may need to go into yourself and meditate 100 times a day. And even the same person will not need it the same way all the time. You, in certain circumstances, you need to be meditating and finding all your forces, gathering all your forces continuously certain days. Other days you may not even think about it. It doesn't mean you don't pray. Because everything you say, if you're living your own life, if you are who you are and you know who you are and you live working towards realizing your mission in life, every sound of it out of your mouth is a prayer. Every gesture you make is a prayer. Every dance you dance is a prayer. And when you make love with somebody, you are praying. If you know who you are and this person knows who they are, there isn't anything that you do that is not a prayer when you know who you are.
But according to religion, you got to get on your knees. You got to face the east. You got to bow your head. You got to put your hands together. Yo, this is crazy. This is how I know all praises be to the Heavenly One, man. This is everything that I've been saying. Look, this is way before this. I'm watching this as it go with you guys. This is why I'm giving you commentary as it plays along. I'm watching this as it go with you guys. You see, the creators is always going to put the pieces where it needs to be. When you're doing what you're supposed to do, the creators is going to bring forth. The creators is going to bring forth, like the word says. There's thousands of people that didn't bow down to Baal. How I interpret it is there's 7.5 billion people on this earth. Let's just say it's 8 billion. There's 4 billion people that haven't bowed down themselves to Lucifer in religion. And every day somebody's stepping away. Every day somebody is closing the door, closing that chapter of the religious teachings every day. When you read Matthew 24 and it says, you shall be persecuted for my name's sake, you're not going to go to jail because you will not be persecuted because you love Jesus. You will be persecuted because you deny it. You reject it. Look, I get persecuted now. People come on my live. People post stuff on my comments. I get persecuted. All because I want to accept their Jesus. All because I want to accept their Yahweh. All because I want to accept their foolishness, their interjections that they put in the Biblos. And I refuse to follow that. Only reason why I keep December is because we still doing homework. Yeah. Yeah. Because even in the writings in the New Test, your so-called savior wasn't observing December. He was working. See, what you guys are not realizing, the work for liberation, the work for redemption, the work for separation, the work for separation, the work for inclusion, unity amongst the people, that job is 24 hours, 7 days a week, 364. It never, ever stop. And when we realize that it doesn't stop, when we realize that there's something that's preventing us to connect and see things from a spiritual aspect, what's stopping you from connecting? What's stopping you from moving mountains is religion. Is religion. Whether you don't know it, whether you know it, the foundation of it, if it is in the guidelines of religion, you will never tap into your spiritual side. All you're going to continue doing is complain. All you're going to continue doing is call on their names. All you're going to continue doing is live a life of shame because you was ordained. You hear me? You was ordained to proclaim this earth. And anybody that's on that type of time will be removed. So you must ask yourself, here I am calling on Sunini Nanini, but yeah, here I am just sitting still. Christianity teaches you to do what? Sit still. Islam teaches you to do what? Sit still. Judaism, Hebrewism teaches you to do what? Sit still. Here we are, 2024, where all the knowledge and the names of the creators and what we doing still is sit still. So you can't, when you see us still sitting still, then you got to ask yourself, well, what are we doing wrong? What you're doing wrong is you still allowing the enemy to navigate your purpose and your mission. Let us continue.
When we're looking at life, taking life as if we were, I don't know, leaves being blown in the wind. You don't put any objective. You don't set no objective. You just sit there and complain. Here's something else we're very good at. We can complain for days. And when you say to somebody, what's the solution? Okay, let's try. Nothing's going to work. But you know, they keep doing this. They're doing this to us. No, don't complain. I don't believe in complaining. Look at the truth for what it is. Face up to it. Oshun teaches us.
Uh-oh. She just gave you an African name. An African deity name was just given to you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. Take this truth, people. Don't run from it. When you finish this live, go into your closet, look in the mirror, and ask yourself, am I okay with this? Ask the creators. Don't ask the Father. Don't disrespect the heavenly ones by saying the Father. Ask the heavenly ones. Talk to them. Ask them to show you your purpose. Ask them to show you your purpose. See, I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing out. It's a difference. Complaining and pointing out is two different things. I'm pointing out our flaws like she's doing. She's pointing out our flaws. So we need to correct these flaws so we won't fall or slip up ever again. Mop this floor. Mop this floor of yours with truth. Mop this floor of yours with the creators. Mop it up. Clean it up. Stop complaining and stop sitting still thinking something from the sky is going to set things for real. That's a lie. All these prophecies is them orchestrating it because they got something in store for us. Wake your ass up.
Love, you know what love is? Are you sitting well? Because I know you all been looking at all this television and this movie and reading all these fine romance novels. Love is knowing your weaknesses, your strength. The weaknesses and strength of your partners, the weaknesses and strength of your enemies. That is love according to Oshun. That is equilibrium. If somebody tells you, oh, I love this brother, look at his little nose. I don't love you. I see your nose, man. You better run. I like this sister. Her butt is so cute. Maybe he's a butt man. Don't waste your time with him. When there is love, there can never be love when there is no knowledge. Ignorance can't love nothing, not even themselves. Knowledge is the first step to love. I know this brother. I know what he can do. I know his spirit. I love the brother. Yes. And because I love him, and he knows me, he loves me, we can make a plan together. I don't have to become your wife. You love me, I love you. There's something we can do together. Maybe it's going to be something in the revolution. Maybe it's going to be something in business. Maybe it's going to be put our two lives together. But that's not the where we're going to do the loving. It doesn't really matter. I love you, you love me. We're going to do something that's going to benefit the whole. That's when I love you. But if I love your nose and you love my butt and her little feet, her little something, please. This is not going to take anybody anywhere. In Voodoo, we are taught good is what benefits the collective. The individual exists to contribute to the collective. So when I'm going out, I want to get all the money I can get. To get me 2 cars, 5 houses, and jewelry and galore and all of this. And you tell me, I love my people. And I'm going to say, I love my people. My people are starving to death. Any one of my earrings could feed a child for a couple of years. I'm sorry, that's not true. I do not have a good knowledge of who I am. Because if I have a good knowledge of who I am, I will know that this hungry child is me. So this hungry child cannot stay that way when I'm with 10,000 jewelry all over the place. No, I cannot do it. Before I came, I had prepared a text, the text I delivered yesterday. This text, I prepared it, and since I went back home, I have made it a policy that whenever I'm coming out here or out of the country to talk, my text must be approved by peasants in my country. So after preparing my text, I translate it in our own language, and I go to different places in the country, and I deliver it to groups of people who don't know how to read and write. And I have been shocked at the corrections they have brought to my text. One such correction is a definition of the word success. I had wonderful, I don't know what it is, but I had beautiful words to say what success is. And a peasant, about 72 years old, said, success, that's not that. I said, what do you mean? I mean, I went to school. I should know. I read in big dictionaries. He said, that's not success, sister. What you're describing here is applaud for a particular achievement. That is not success. Success is being who you are in such a complete and stable way that you become the foundation upon which the next generation will feel secure. Success is not what you do. Success is who you are. If you live your life as who you are and who you ought to be, nobody needs to know you. No matter you don't go on CNN. Doesn't matter if WBI don't know you exist. You are a very successful person. Another brother asked me, do you have any children? I said, yes. How many? 4. And 2 grands. Where are they? I said where they were. He asked me a number of questions. Did they go to school? What did they do? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Any of them got arrested? Any of them doing drugs? Any of them smoking? No. Well, you're a successful woman. Because the ones who came after you, their lives are good. That's what your success is. Makes no difference to me how many cars you got, how many houses you got. That is not success. So we need to look inside and establish for ourselves. Don't take other people's standards. White men say, small nose of men. And we all go around walking like this and feeling guilty because our nose breathes real good. You have no problem breathing. Great.
Damn, folks. I might just do the part two. I might just do the part two next week, Samba, or I'll probably just upload it tomorrow and just have it on the have it up on the website. I mean, on the channel, and you guys can just watch it on your own. But as you can see, man, you know what I'm saying? You guys has been fed a whole lot of fugazi over the years. Um, the stories that we've been told about Haiti, it's all been a lie. Now it makes sense into why when I was younger, a lot of us didn't want to claim to be Haitian because it came with a lot of backlash because they were like, oh, you Haitian? They used to call you HBO, Haitian body odor, and all of this. Mind you, you know what I'm saying? We the only people that smell good, clean, you know what I'm saying? We was doing these things. But even when you look down with voodoo, right? You see the bad raps that we've been getting, and the sisters just breaking it down. See, you must understand that anything that's associated with us and that's beneficial for us, these people will create things and say things to take you away from that. Like she says, you must know thy enemy. And the enemy is not the other black man that needs to know thy enemy. The enemy, we as people got two enemies. We got the enemy within ourselves, and then we got the enemy that's put us in these conditions. Right? These are the only two enemies that we have to deal with. Everything else, once you tap in and you find yourself and you learn yourself, you learn your culture, you embrace something that was given to you naturally, and you don't associate this power with those that do these things wickedly, right? I know individuals who use voodoo for evil things, voodoo for evil things. I know people. But does that mean that something that the creators gave us naturally, does that mean that it's wrong? When something bad is about to happen, my eye twitches. I get that from my mother. My mother got that from her mother. And her mother was what? A what? So I say all that to say this, like, what's going on. We all got special powers, spiritual powers. We're just not tapping in. Why we're not tapping in? That leads to, you know what I'm saying? That's a conversation that needs to be had on later times. But overall, people, the objective is to know your history, know thyself, free thyself. Stop allowing the enemies and the agents and the European ideology, the theologies, ideologies, and everything that they created. Stop allowing that to hinder your purpose. Stop falling and stop waiting for something to be delivered to you. And doing the works isn't studying and learning every precept upon precept. That's Luciferian. The objective is to the objective is to know thyself, connect with thyself, go back and connect with your ancestors, and do the necessary things to win the war, to really be successful. Like she said, success is going to come to those that take care of their children, that ensures that their children is not living wicked lives, that their children is not being pass arounds, right? You don't want your daughter being with Tom, Dick, and Harry, or being in a situation with Tom, Dick, and Harry. You don't want that. You want her to be subjected, married to one man only. You want her to keep the value of her house at an all-time high. That the next buyer, God forbid something happen, that the next buyer is willing to pay triple, quadruple for this property. Because those type of women will be very, very rare, purified rubies on this earth. Facts. So our job is to do the necessary things to ensure that we as individuals get from being here and elevate here and beyond. You see that mountain that's in Cape Town, that's in the background? You need to see if you can reach there. Your righteousness must exceed that mountain right there. Because when it reaches to that point, that's when you will be able to move the mountain. We must save our people. We must save our children. Even if it means the cost of self-life. And I'm not just talking about physically. We talking about mentally. We talking about financially. We talking about spiritually. You must find your purpose and continue doing what you're supposed to be doing. I'm gonna gracefully bow out, guys. If it sound like it was raining, I gotta go make a contact and go see if I could interview with this brother of mine. He want to sit down. He wants me to come around and sit down and have a conversation. He was once a part of this organization that I used to be a part of, and definitely want to do a former Israelite speaks out segment, and we see where it goes. But overall, people, it was a pleasure. I hope you guys find this information very well. Next week, we'll be uncovering the Hebrew Bible. I still got to finish editing that one. We're going to uncover that one, the origin of it, so you guys can know exactly what's going on. So you guys can see that the whole book was literally compiled and put together to fit their narrative and to have the story about them. It's not about us. Our history, our understanding is oral, pause, verbal, and gets passed down. So tap into your elders. Go into the Holy Land and speak to the elders and get your knowledge. Because through knowledge, you will receive your redemption. It's your brother, man, from the motherland. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Listen, if it's your first time, I hope it's not your last time. If it's your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time, that means I'm still on your grind. That means it's time for you to shine, because you better get yours, because I know I'm going to get mine. And if I said this once, let me say it again. I am him, Honorable Jones, the NBIC, a.k.a. Mister, keep my foot on you heathens, you Hebrews, and the newly installed heathenite snacks. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? Listen to the creator say one time for one half of the creator say one time for the one time. And I'ma holler at y'all. One.